Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome to the Clock End Talk. I'm your host, Tez. You can follow me at Tez on Twitter. You can get Tony in the show at Clock End Talk, although Tony has another little account he's been tweeting from, I noticed. So, Tony, I'll let you give that a shout out because I don't know what the handle is, but welcome aboard, brother.
Yeah, cheers for having me. I'll say cheers for having me. It's my show. I should be saying welcome to you. Um, I don't know. I don't know what my Twitter thing is. I changed it recently. Basically, if you ever on our Twitter and you see tickets being retweeted from an account, that's me. But I can't remember what the thing is. So yeah. Follow
Yeah,
that if you
good.
see it, or if you don't know, don't follow it. I don't really care. Um, yeah, but yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Jeez, you're the man of promos, aren't you? Yeah, I don't
I
really know
mean,
what it is,
they're
but
gonna
yeah, follow me.
Well, I mean, if I earn money for them following me, then yeah, I'd be selling it. But I mean, I'm not really that interested. So pressing the follow button is, I mean, you're not going to get any use out of it, are you? Unless you want tickets. If you want tickets, press the follow button.
Oh, wasn't it last week you were saying, you went to fame and you you got all these followers and stuff after the news,
Well,
team
I
news?
mean, yeah, I did. I got 500 followers and it went to my head, but then I realized that I'm still broke. So um, it, they didn't make me rich. So I kind of got bored of them.
This week was a very interesting week compared to last week. A great, great 3 points against Southampton. This game was a little bit worrying for me because I wasn't sure. Yeah, after what I seen last week, and then I'm like, we were tossing up between what the team was going to be. At the time last week, we said Lacazette can't start again, but then it come out that Lacazette obviously started, scored a goal. However, Aubameyang under different reactions. Some were saying that's bullshit. Others were saying, how good it is for Arteta to be putting his foot down and saying, no, 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 you're sitting out this game. I'm not even sure why or what the story was, Tony, but I do applaud it. You've got to keep to your guns, and if that's what Arteta's done, that's what he's done.
Yeah, well, it was interesting. So I knew on Friday that he didn't train, so he wouldn't be playing Saturday. But I didn't know why. I didn't know if he was injured or obviously COVID's going wild at the moment within football teams. So I didn't know if it was that. I just knew that he didn't train. And then Arteta's come out before the game and said this disciplinary issues, and you thought, oh, here we go. Um, so it's come out today that he went back to France to see his mother, and then there's a bit of uncertainty at the moment whether he was late back or there was issues with his COVID part, like his if he could train because obviously he'd been out of a football bubble, he'd been to another country. Because I know basically they said he was like refused entry to the training ground because there was confusion over his COVID check. So I don't know
Mm.
if he was actually back on time but just couldn't train because of that, or if he was late back. But either way, obviously he didn't train Friday and that left him out. Um, and then yeah, from then there wasn't too much they could do, especially with Smith Rowe obviously not fit enough to start. Um, that meant Gabby had to play on the left, which only really left Lacazette to play up front. But I think if Smith Rowe came back in, then maybe Lacazette wouldn't have started. But I mean, obviously we're guessing. So once we found out the Aubameyang news and the Smith Rowe stuff, or Smith Rowe wasn't fit to start or didn't play at all, um, then I guess the lineup being unchanged wasn't a surprise at all, really.
Yeah. Look, you're. Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you say, and like I said earlier, you've got to applaud the manager. I do know a lot of people said, they seem to feel as though this is going to be like another Özil situation. Look, I'm not in the club. I don't know. The manager's come out as a strong no. You're not playing, so I got to applaud that. You're in the same boat.
Yeah, look, we've always said that Arsenal has been too undisciplined and players seem to get away with doing whatever they want. And then now they're not, and some people want to moan about that. It's been really interesting because recently a lot of the Arteta out fans the not look. Some of them are reasonable. They just don't like him, and that's fair enough. But the mainly the unreasonable ones who we could win 15-0 and they'd find a mistake in it. Uh, I've been blaming him for playing Aubameyang while he's been off form and the manager's blinded by him. He don't know what he's doing. He keeps picking him even though he's shit. Blah blah blah. Then suddenly Arteta drops him and says it's a disciplinary issue. And they're going, oh, well, that's terrible man management. I can't believe he's done this to the guy that's won us the FA Cup, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hang on, last week he was moaning that he didn't have the bottle to drop him. It's like, you
Yeah.
can't win with these people. But no, Arteta's done, look, if the rules have been broken or if he was late or if he couldn't train on Friday due to not having the correct COVID requirements, then he's done exactly the right thing to drop him. I do think there's probably a bit more to this story. But yeah, it seems he's done the right thing.
I agree. It's one of them things, and I just, look, I hope he takes his punishment and he comes back next week, thinking, well, yeah, okay, I fucked up. Whatever, still don't even really know what he did, and I don't think we will know. So, the other
I just
one,
told you.
yeah, I know, but okay, right, we'll run with your story. Look, I don't want to be, I don't want to say yeah for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's for sure. I'm telling you. That's
oh,
what
is
happened.
it? Okay, right, okay,
Yeah.
right. That's all right. Okay, well, I thought you were just giving me your thoughts on it. That's all. Okay, so that's 100%.
No.
That's what happened. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Cool.
Francis' mum.
Righto. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Um, the other one, Granite. He's always going to cause controversial around this team. Do we start him? Do we don't? Yeah. I honestly don't know where I am with this, Tony, because I do appreciate Granite and I appreciate the football he does bring. However, geez, I have to say there's an argument for Sambi, and I'm in that corner as well where you can't say Sambi has not been good. So I think it's a little bit odd that Granite has all of a sudden come back starting the last two games, and Zambia seems to have just hasn't even made the team. I'm a little bit concerned with that, but I don't know how I feel about that. It's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Sambi's been hard done by because he was playing quite well before that. But I mean, it happened earlier in the season. Xhaka was out for 3 games. We won them all, and then Tottenham was the next game, and he came straight back in. And I know he obviously played against Everton, but if you see yourself as in the trenches after 2 losses, then Xhaka is always going to play the game where your back's against the wall, battling and in the trenches. So I was a bit surprised he started at Everton. After starting at Everton, I was not at all surprised. I mean, that wasn't even a consideration. And to be honest, if you'd have said to me one of the midfielders is dropped, like, guess which one, I would have gone Partey. Like, there was no way Granit wasn't going to play that game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I never really think of Partey actually, but he hasn't been in good form. So, it's hard to. I just rode an MAA Gunner. Just on the Aubameyang before we do move on too much here, he feels like it's been blown out of proportion a little bit. So, and he'd also just said Lokonga is on 4 yellows, which could be why he's not playing. Hey, very good point. I didn't know that.
I don't think that makes sense because by missing games, it's not like they're saving him for, like, whoever we played before Man United, who was at Newcastle. If he didn't play then and they've saved him for Man United, then you go, oh, okay, or doesn't play at Old Trafford to save him for Everton. You say, oh, okay, but then now he's not played against Southampton. It's not like they're saving him for anything. So I don't see it as like they're just because isn't it like February or January where that 5 card rule ends? So they're not gonna what they're gonna do just not play him till then, so he doesn't get a 1 game ban, but then he misses 8 games anyway.
Yeah, that is a bit crazy. I haven't looked to who. I know we're playing West Ham this week. I'm not sure where we are after that. I kind of take one game as it comes.
We got West Ham home, Leeds away, then Sunderland in the cup. Yeah, I mean, Mem Dembele's just said saving him for Sunderland, but I mean, if someone's that good and would be in the first team, you don't save them for Sunderland. He will play against Sunderland, I'm pretty sure of it, but it's not being saved. That's because it's going to be a second choice team against Sunderland largely, and At the
Mm.
moment, he's not a first choice midfielder, so I don't see it as saving him. And you don't start saving someone for a game on December 21st. On the last time he played was November 27th. It's nearly a month. That's not saving. That's dropping, resting, rotating, whatever you want to call it. But he's not being saved for that game.
I look, I agree with you. I think MWA Gunny might be drawing a short straw, but if you were going to play him against last week, and if he gets the yellow, let him miss the Southampton game this week, and away he goes. So it's to miss 8 games to save him for one just seems bizarre. So yeah, I see where MWA Gunner's coming from, but fuck me. Surely not Arteta's not that stupid. I don't mean to say stupid, but like fucking hell. We're
No
clutching at
one is
straws,
being
aren't we?
saved. Yeah, no one is being saved for the Sunderland game. The players that
Yeah.
play in the Sunderland game are the ones that aren't quite getting the minutes that we would
Mm-hmm.
like in the league. So it will be. I mean, obviously there could be injuries between now and then, but it'll be the likes of Cedric, Chambers, Holding, Lukonga, Ains, that sort of player. Probably Aubameyang, the way things are going at the moment. Pepe, it'll be them sort of players.
And keep in mind, he was on the bench, and yeah, just come on in the 81st minute. So yeah. Tierney, the other one where I wasn't sure who would start there, Tony, and that's probably about the lineup where I was at. Nuno seems to have been. He's not even wasn't even on the bench, so he seems to be.
Wasn't it?
No, I just looked then and I thought, was he? Oh yeah, he was. Sorry, yeah, he was.
I'm pretty sure I saw him. I
Yeah,
went
yeah,
that
no, he
drunk.
was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, so that's pretty much the lineup. I maybe think this could be the lineup moving forward to West Ham, depending on what happens with Aubameyang. But anyway, is what it is. Let's go through the game, buddy. 20th minute, Lacazette gets his goal.
Well, I
Assisted by
mean, just before that, we
yep.
started like shit. I thought the first 10 or 12 minutes, I thought, oh, here we go again. They had like 3 or 4 shots that Ramsdale had to make saves from. Not worldies, but saves that like good solid saves that you have to make. And we were standing there thinking, oh, how bad can it be? And then obviously we played out from the back. Really good goal actually. It started from, I'm not sure if it was a goal kick, but it started from Ramsdale. He got involved a few times, and then we punched a press on the right hand side. Saka drove, picked out the right ball. Actually picked out a pass, didn't just put it in an area, and it's a good finish by Lacazette. Um, but it was probably against a running play at the time. The goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Hard to disagree with that. Odegaard, I'm trying to fucking get my head. I've watched that much football since this game, so I'm trying. I should have watched the highlights before I come here. But Odegaard, Tierney assist, I'd imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was funny because Tomiyasu's massively overhit the cross. KT's taken the most horrendous touch ever. Well, he's tried to cross it and it's got stuck under his feet, and the cross has got blocked and he's headed it in. And to be fair, Odegaard's done really well. And again, we mentioned it last week, getting into the box. So credit where it's due for getting there. Um, what's not been noticed in this goal is how well Gabby does, because I think Odegaard's favourite to win the ball, but there's a defender that's coming steaming in, and you've got to go like big 6'5" centre back against Odegaard, who doesn't really want to head the ball. Like even if Odegaard's favourite, you'd still probably think the other guy's got a good chance of getting it. But Gabby just steps across the centre back and gives him no chance of getting the ball, completely blocks him off. And yeah, fair play to Odegaard because, as I said, heading's not something that he'd be noted for, but minimal fuss, just headed the ball in the back of the net and ran off celebrating.
Yeah. And then, so we go into half time. I'm just trying to rack my brain around. That was the third goal when it was on the counter. But we go in, mate, 2-0 up. Your thoughts on, apart from the first 10, 15 minutes, your thoughts on the rest of that first half?
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable after that. I don't think we hit great heights, as in we wasn't amazing, but and they still had a couple of, I'm not going to say chances, but opportunities on the break where Ramsdale had to make. I said saves you'd expect him to make, nothing amazing, but yeah, I think we was in cruise control for the rest of the first half, especially.
You're at the stadium, you're watching the game live. Give me an idea of what you hear from Ramsdale because I see it on the TV and I think, look at this bloke. Like, he just seems pumped up every fucking time. I don't know whether it's just the camera goes to him every time, like, oh, look at Ramsdale, but it's really noted when we watch it on TV.
Yeah, I mean, cameras go to him a lot because he does stuff. I mean, it was like the first goal, he done a massive knee slide right in front of us, which is not things you really see from keepers. And there was that kick he done to Martinelli where Martinelli probably should have scored. I think we ended up getting a corner from it, where like I think Ramsdale, MWH just mentioned it. I think Ramsdale was ready to run the whole length of the pitch to celebrate. To be honest, he was. I'm not going to say unhappy that he was very disappointed we didn't score because I think he wanted to go and get involved in the celebration. To be honest, but in terms of his talking, it's not. It's more like just telling people what to do, like telling people to drop or telling people what ball's on, where to play or and whatnot. So it's not like it's nothing groundbreaking. He's not giving tactical team talks from in goal, but it's just encouragement and praise most of the time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because the camera just always goes to him and it, yeah, like, it's just exciting to watch him. Like, I'd never
Yeah, so I
remember.
think that's more for his actions. As I said, you're never going to you don't usually get keepers run 30 yards to knee slide in front of fans when the goal's gone in at the other end of the pitch. Like, it's just stuff that doesn't really happen, but it does with him.
The third goal, is that the one? That was where we got that on the
From the
counter.
corner.
Oh, that
No,
was from the corner.
yeah,
What was the one on the counter? That was the second, was it?
almost. Almost
The
first.
first. Fuck me, I'm well off. Okay. Okay, talk me through the third one.
Yeah, I mean, we had a goal disallowed from a corner about 2 minutes before that, and I actually think this was our best spell in the game. From half time to about 65 minutes, we were relentless. Like we were creating chances. Every time they scrambled it clear, it was just wave after wave of attack. We hit the post twice, Gabby and Saka, and we looked actually unbelievable. And you could argue Southampton were disheartened, but we actually looked like a really good team. We weren't letting up. We were keeping them in. They couldn't get out. And as I said, we had the goal disallowed from a corner, which the replays were shit. I'm going to assume it's offside because no one's made a big deal out of it. But it was. I mean, he didn't need to be offside. It wasn't one of them where the goal wouldn't go in if he wasn't offside. But whatever it is, what it is. And then 2 minutes later, we get another corner. Good ball from Gabby. Good run from Gabriel's. Horrible defending, like awful, awful defending, and very poor from their keeper. But we got to remember that both their keepers are out injured, and they signed this keeper on an emergency loan 2 days ago. Who'd been training with a League One team, had been unemployed, hadn't played football for I think a year and a half since he played a first team game. And to be honest, it showed. But yeah, horrible defending, horrible keeping, but good ball and good run from Gabriel, and then obviously a very easy finish.
Everything went to plan in this game. Like, at this point, I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's just good. That's a good fucking solid 3 points. I'm happy. It was a good performance from Arsenal.
Yeah, it's funny. So MWA he's just saying Laka messed up a 3v1 in the first half, and as he gave the ball away, do you know when like sometimes you naturally say things like it's not thought of, it just comes out your mouth in that moment. Um, for some reason, I just shouted, "Oh, you fat prick!" and people thought it was hilarious, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it." Like, I mean, he is, but
You wouldn't say that, would you?
it's like a preset line with him. I think.
Yeah, look, I just, I was one who was very critical of Lacazette last week because I just everything I watched from him that game last week, I just hated. I This week, it was a good goal that he got. Led by the play that we do. Up the wings, Saka cross ball in, playing out from the back, and that's what you expect. So it was. But then next week he could come out and you know what? I was surprised that he was there that quick that for that first goal, because that did happen very quickly. Um, it could have well and truly been a Southampton goal, but anyway, what do we want to do? 3-2-1. It's going to be a short pod here. We haven't got much really to discuss. Well, it's not much that come out of it. It was good win, good everything. I'm looking for players, maybe Party. I don't know whether he was better than last week. If anything, Granite was probably the player who had a bit of weaknesses in for me. I'm just looking here. They give him a 6.8, but they always do score him
I
low.
thought, I know, look, it's going to skew things because he got the goal. I thought Gabriel was quite poor. Got booked after 2 or 3 minutes and just looked a bit shakier than we've seen from him this season. Poor is not fair, but not as good as he's been in other games this season. I thought it was probably his worst game or one of his worst games this season, to be fair.
Saka was good. He
Yeah,
was.
we were saying this at the ground. I don't think Saka's played too well this season. There's a few games where he's been very good, but in general, I don't think he's played too well. But this was one of his better games. I mean, Tottenham, he was very good. Newcastle, he was very good. And I thought he was good here as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 3-2-1.
Um, I'm going to go Odegaard for free, not only for his goal, but my biggest problem with him, as everyone who listens regularly will know, is that he doesn't take risks. He doesn't try and go forward, and he was trying to be this like cause chaos and break them down every time he had the ball, and he'd done a lot of nice things. There was one ball he tried to play through to Gabby that just got cut out. Where I think if it went through, we'd be talking about it for months. So even though a lot of the things didn't come off, he was playing how I want my number 10 to play. And I've moaned about him not doing it for so long that when he does do it, I have to give him credit for it. And he obviously got the goal on top. So I think I'll go Odegaard 3. I think he got the official man of the match as well, but I'm not 100% about that.
I'm not sure myself. Odegaard got my 3 as well. So, yeah, 2 might be controversial. I'll go 2 first. I went Lacazette for 2. I thought it was a really good goal. I thought he was good all round. I really did. It was 83 minutes he played for, and we all do know we're never going to get the 90 out of him. I thought he was good. I honestly do. I got no negatives against him this week.
I didn't actually think he was involved as much because usually, as you say, he's involved, but not in the right areas. I didn't think he got involved too much in the game, and I thought it would have been it was an ideal game to do it because we're having wave after wave of attacks. But maybe that's where you want a more natural number 9. So I've not got him in. I put Gabby as 2. Obviously, he got an assist. He done so well for Odegaard's goal. Hit the post. Like, he really deserved the goal, and I think at 3-0. We knew the game was dead, but everyone just wanted Gabby to score because, as I said, it just felt like he really, really deserved it on the day.
Yep.
And obviously didn't get it, but yeah, and I think he looks a more rounded player now. He's not as one of the big problems with him is he's always been very raw. He gets the ball and he just wants to. He's like a dog. He just wants to run at people and do stuff. But he looked more like he chose the right times to attack rather than just trying to attack stupidly. Maybe it's a one-off game, but maybe he's genuinely improving, and I hope he has. So, yeah, I thought he was my 2.
Who you got for 1?
Ramsdale.
Yeah,
It may sound a bit odd. Well, it may sound a bit odd in a 3-0 win, but as I said, in the first 10 to 15 minutes, he made 3 good saves. I think he ended up making 6 or 7 saves in the game, which is a higher number, and not saves where they're backpassed and he's just picked it up. He made 3 or 4 very, very good saves. His distribution, I mean, like our first goal doesn't happen with a keeper that can't play out from the back. He should have got an assist for Gabby, as we've already mentioned. Coming out and catching crosses. I mean, especially that they've got Ward-Prowse on set pieces. So for me, they've got the best deliverer of a ball in the league. Him or Trent, you can argue either way. And Ramsdale's coming to collect them or punch them and take the pressure off our defenders. So MAA has just said Ramsdale got the official MMM. And I'm not surprised, but I don't want to win. Yeah, well, that's what MAA's just said. But I don't want
Yeah,
to
okay.
win and give it to the keeper. But yeah, I think it'd be a catastrophe not to name him in 3-2-1. To be honest.
Yeah, look, he got my one as well. Like it's hard to go past him. I probably could have given him a two, but I was also looking at Saka as well. I think Saka's been unfair not to get in any of our 3-2-1s. So, um, but
Well,
it is
it's a
what it
weird one,
is.
isn't it? Because Saka got an assist, and if his shot to hit the post goes in, then he probably goes from to the free. Like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Look, there's probably not much between him and Gabby's level in terms of the
yep.
game, but I think where we expect it from Saka, um, then you favour Gabby because you're kind of not sure what you're going to get from Gabby. Whereas when
Mm,
Saka gives that level of performance, we're like, oh, we've seen that a million times. So for
yeah,
him,
yeah.
that's like normal. Um, where Gabby, that we've just not seen it yet. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but we haven't
Mm,
seen it that often. So it's more of a surprise when he does it.
yep, yep. And look, Lacazette, like he just for me this week, I don't want to keep going on about it, but like every last week, it was just a different player out there this week, and I don't know whether someone's had a yarn to him and said, "Hey, we can't have you this dropping back this deep involved in the ball because we need you up top." So I haven't looked at heat maps, I haven't looked at anything, but just from watching the game, I'm like, well, he was a hell of a lot better than he was last week, you know. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's us. 3-2-1. Where else are we going? I'm just going to quickly touch on upcoming game. West Ham,
I was just going to
Tony.
say there's a quick question from MAA.
Okay. Give me a look. Who does Smith Rowe come in for if he does? Mm,
Uh, Look,
mm.
I think he has to come back in. He's so crucial to the way we play, and just been so good at. I think if we were talking player of the season at the moment or player of the half season, you'd probably. I mean, I'd put good money on it being Ramsdale and Smith Rowe as 1 and 2. To be honest, um, I don't think many people would disagree with that. Um, so he has to come back in, and it's interesting because before Southampton, I definitely would have said he'll sort of try Gabby up. Smith Rowe will come back in on the left and then maybe try Gabby up front instead of Laka, because as you
Yeah,
said, Laka
yeah.
was just anonymous against Everton. Maybe with that game, it sees Gabby coming back out, or he still tries it, or who knows. Look, Gabby won't play up front against West Ham, not with how tight their defence is and their centre backs being massive. But I think ESR definitely comes back in, and probably for Gabby, which would be a bit unfair in a sense, but Smith Rowe has to come back in. Odegaard's 3 and 3. Saka ain't going to get dropped. So you either go Gabby up top or drop him. And I think they're your only real options. Either way, look, again, with people that don't like Arteta, he's going to be wrong no matter what he does.
Oh yeah. Look, and where are we with Aubameyang against West Ham? It was only one match disciplinary. Did we hear or not?
Well, no, he's not said. They said when will
No.
it end, and there's no answer. But no, I mean, look, again, I wouldn't bring him back in. But even again, Arteta cannot win. If he brings him in, he doesn't play well. It's like, oh, he's disrespected the whole club, but he's coming back in anyway and still wearing the armband. There's rumours he's going to be stripped of that anyway. Um, but yeah, like what I wouldn't bring him in, but as I said, Arteta can't win anyway. If we go and play and we're really blunt in attack, they'll go, oh, you've got a guy sitting at home that's your top goal scorer over the last however many years. So I think everyone should be
I
made to
know.
write down their opinion before the game.
I agree. I agree because it's yeah, damn you do, damn you don't. For me, I do like. Well, not that I do like. How am I saying? Lacazette. I'm not a Lacazette hater, okay, but I watched him too much, so I know what we're going to get out of Lacazette. Against Southampton, he was good. He could come out against West Ham and be as piss poor as he was against Everton. And that's what frustrates me with Lacazette. I wish the fuck he would just, I don't know whether it's do as you're told or just do what you did during this week. Don't fucking do what you do every other week. So it's a 50-50 for me. So, okay, you're talking about Gabby up front. Do you take that risk? They are very strong defenders at West Ham. So Lacazette may be able to hassle and fucking bastle his way through for a goal. I don't know. But Martinelli may struggle as well. Like I think he would.
Yeah, I think against West Ham you go safe and you play
Yeah.
Lacazette there and drop Gabby, which is a bit unfair on
That's,
Gabby because he was good at Old Trafford. I thought
yeah.
he was the only one of the front four that was good at Old Trafford, to be honest. Everton, he wasn't great. He was okay, but not great. I
Mm.
actually thought Eddie done better in his spell on the left, apart from the miss, than Gabby did. But then, as I said this week, I thought he was very good. So I think it'd be a little bit harsh, but football's a very harsh game.
I look, just thinking it'll probably be as we just said. I think it'll be Lacazette up front and Martinelli will be dropped, unfortunately. So and he'll be on the bench and he'll get a run. No doubt he'll get a run. Odegaard you can't drop for me at the moment. He's playing really really good football. So Lacazette fucking on the brain. Granite West Ham. What happens there? Sambi, does he come back in with this week or
Granite stays in the
not?
big game. As I said, big game. Granite plays.
Yep.
There's no
Party.
question. I think we probably, depending on Smith Rowe's fitness, and I'm pretty sure he's fit, but then I thought that last week. I think we either go unchanged or Smith Rowe for Gabby is the only
Only
change.
change. Yep. Okay. All right, buddy. That's pretty much us. 33 minutes is a very quick podcast compared to what we have done here on this show before. So, you got anything else to add, mate? You want to do a quick prediction on West Ham or anything like that?
No, because I never do predictions, so that was a stupid suggestion.
I'll
The
fucking
the
get you
only
one
thing
day.
is you won't. Um, no, it'd just be interesting to see what happens because we can't start planning too far ahead. I think football or some games will at least be called off soon. I know Man United have asked for their game tomorrow to be called off. I don't think there's been a decision yet, which is a disgrace from the league to leave it so late. Fans have
Mm.
got to travel, and again, the fans are the last people to be thought of. But yeah, I'd just say don't go planning on fixtures too far ahead with the way things are going at the moment.
Do you what's just because we go out all over the place. What's going on? What's because I've been asleep as well at night. Last night I woke up this morning. You boys are chit chatting in the chat, and I'm like, what the fuck is COVID hit you boys again? Has it?
Um, I don't know about in terms of the country because I don't look at the figures. But I know in the Premier League there was 42 cases last week, which is, I mean, it's been steadily around sort of seven for a while now. So then obviously it's gone up by like six times, and a lot of clubs are affected. So obviously Tottenham had their games called off.
Yep.
Um, we've got a case, but it's in the staff, and apparently he's not mixed with players. So we're still training, but we've gone back to like the measures when it was lockdown. So every player gets tested in their car. When they get the negative, then they can go in and train. We bring that back in today. Villa have got two cases. Uh, Brighton have got three or four cases. Norwich have got a couple of cases. Man United have shut their training ground today. That's why they're trying to get the game called off. And
Seen
probably some others
Tottenham.
clubs are
Tottenham
struggling.
were
That's just
really struggling as well, weren't they?
well, so their game obviously this weekend was off. I think they're meant to play Leicester on Thursday. Um, I think that's got to be it. There's no confirmation yet, but Tottenham, we were meant to play Tottenham as under 23s, and that got called off because of COVID cases at Tottenham's training ground. So you'd imagine they're not going to let the first team players back there, and if they're not training, they're obviously not going to play on Thursday. So that will probably be off by the sounds of things. But yeah, just off the top of my head, that's like five clubs affected. Now Brentford have obviously Ivan Tony should be back if they play tomorrow, but he's touch and go because he's just missed. He's had COVID, and one of their centre backs, I can't remember, Ethan Pinnock, has COVID, so he's out. Um, so yeah, I mean it's affecting everyone at the moment, and the numbers just within football seem to be growing. So it's
Yeah, yeah. Look, and I probably stick my head in the sand when it comes to you fellas over there a little bit because I'm looking at myself here in Australia, and I've been double vaxxed and I can actually move around, over the Christmas break and go to Queensland and different things. What's going on over there? Like, are you lads all like vaccinated, double vaxxed? These football players and things?
The issue is this new variant. Basically, it double vax doesn't work against it. Basically, in terms of spreading it, it's very very spreadable. So
Yeah,
apparently, from what the news tells me, is it doesn't make you that ill, but it just spreads very quickly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And in terms of like look, we've been out of lockdown for ages, and even when we was in it, no one took any notice. So you saying, "Oh, you can go and mix with people," we've been like that forever, like well,
Yeah,
for a
that's
long,
what.
long time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It's crazy to see that it's gone full circle again, hasn't it? And
Well, to be
just
fair, said it last week, and he's right. Like when cases started coming up again, and I think they asked him at the press conference, or it was the press having embargoed it, and he said like we're doing all we can, but how can we affect it when the world is normal? So it sounds stupid, but when they're going and hugging the fans when they score, or even just going out to the shopping centre to go and get their weekly groceries, when the world is normal, it doesn't really matter what testing you have in football. They still have to live their normal lives. Their wives still going to go to the gym or wherever they go, and then they could bring it back. So football has stayed pretty like they're still testing 3 times a week. I know most teams are going back to daily now, but the whole time they've been testing 3 times a week. But with the rest of the world being normal around them, or sorry, the rest of the country,
yep.
it's very difficult. It's not like before where they had to basically they trained, they went home, and that was it. And because the rest of the country was on lockdown at that time, it wasn't like they were going to the shops or their missus was going out and having their lunch with her girlfriends and potentially picking something up because we was on lockdown. But as I said, Arteta was right, saying there's no point if you lock down one industry, it doesn't overly matter because the rest of the world's mixing around them, and then that's it. It sounds stupid, but the ball could go into a crowd and land at someone with COVID. He just throws it back who doesn't know he's got COVID. The player who takes a throw on's now got a COVID ball in their hand.
Yeah, it's crazy. Where do fans sit with this though, Tony? And like, are they going to stop the fans again to coming, or is there
No,
testing
so
for fans? Or
from Wednesday, which is West Ham game, you have to show a negative test to get in. They're the easiest things in the world to fake. Like I
oh,
know
really?
tons of people that fake them, but you have to
Mm,
show a negative test to get in from Wednesday. But what I also will say is I can almost guarantee they won't check. So the rule is from Wednesday, if there's more than 10,000 people at a venue, you have to show a negative test or be double vaxxed, either or.
yeah,
But
right.
I am obviously I've not been there yet. It's not Wednesday yet. It's still 2 days away. But I'd put money on
Mm,
them not checking.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
they can't check 60,000 people. Do you know how long that would take? I'd have to get there now.
Yeah, true. But do you have like QR codes on things like that? You doing any of that stuff?
Yeah, but again, they would have to scan the 60,000 QR codes. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy world we live in, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. You're I seen a I'm going off a little bit of topic here, but I seen during a week one of the boys shared in the chat, and you can get in the chat. We're back on Patreon again. Um, it was your prime minister come out and did an announcement, and there's a bloke I can't think of his name. He's the
Matt
bald-headed
Lucas.
comedian bloke. Oh, fucking what a classic, mate! If you haven't seen it, watch it. I just pissed myself laughing. Absolute classic. Matt Lucas was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Oh, fucking classic. Anyway, um, anyway, I hope everybody is safe out there and doing what they can. I usually give a shout out to listeners from somewhere. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to we have listeners, Tony, in Kentucky. So those who haven't seen the news and things with tornadoes, a real shout out to you guys over there, because I can see by the images and videos that, fuck me, like I don't even know where you go to rebuild and things. But look, shout out to
Every
you
part of
guys.
me thought you was going to mention chicken then.
What, send them over a bucket of KFC, you reckon?
I thought you was going to say shout out to the people from Kentucky for making good chicken.
Oh. Nah, so shout out to you guys, and look, even I can't do much over here in Australia, but hey, I can give you a shout out. I can flick me a DM, and mate, I'll give you a chat here, or if you're doing it hard, sing out, because like I'd imagine you would be doing it hard. So yeah, shout out to all you guys over there. That's it from us, Tony. We'll come up against West Ham, hopefully take 3 points, and we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Okay,
Adios.
goodbye and good night. See yous.